For as long as we've existed, life has been a one-way street, right? A straight shot to a dead end. But what if I told you that deep in the ocean, one tiny creature figured out how to make the ultimate U-turn?
Seriously, think about that for a second. Because for one tiny animal, death is optional. And no, this isn't science fiction. This is biological reality. The genetic code for eternal life has been cracked, just not by us. It was cracked by a creature that's been hiding the secret in plain sight.
So, let's meet our prime suspect in the case of cheating death, a tiny jellyfish, nicknamed the Immortal Jellyfish. Today, we're going to break down exactly how it pulls off the single greatest escape act in the history of life itself.
Okay, so check this out. You've got two paths here. The blue arrow, well, that's the normal life cycle for basically every animal on Earth. You're born, you grow up, you reproduce, you die. The end. But that red arrow, that is the loophole. That's the cheat code. When this immortal jellyfish gets old, or stressed, or damaged, it hits a biological undo button, reverting from a full-grown adult all the way back to its baby stage, ready to grow up all over again.
So the question is, how on earth does it do that? Well, the magic happens in this little stage called the cyst. And I know it just looks like a formless blob, but that is not a coffin. It's more like a high-tech rejuvenation chamber where the jellyfish performs a complete system reboot on its body. So what's going on in there? Well, scientists have uncovered 3 major genetic clues.
All right, clue number 1 sounds like it's been ripped straight from a superhero movie. Get this. Its cells are the ultimate shapeshifters. They are capable of fundamentally changing their own identity. Now, the scientific name for this superpower is transdifferentiation. And what that means is that a mature, specialized cell, let's say a muscle cell, can transform directly into a completely different type of cell, like a nerve cell. It doesn't go back to being a stem cell first. It's a direct career change at the cellular level. And the difference here is just staggering. See, our cells are on a one-way street. A skin cell will always be a skin cell, period. But for this jellyfish, it's a two-way superhighway. I mean, just imagine if one of your old, worn-out skin cells could just decide to become a brand new heart cell. That's the kind of biological wizardry we are talking about here. But, changing your cells isn't enough if your DNA is riddled with a lifetime of errors. And that brings us to clue number 2. Inside that cyst, the jellyfish activates an absolutely elite genetic repair crew. And this is so crucial. The cyst isn't sleeping. It's a whirlwind of genetic activity. The genes that are responsible for DNA repair go into total overdrive. Systems that protect the ends of its chromosomes just switch on. And all the genes associated with aging, they get actively silenced. It is a complete top-to-bottom genetic overhaul.
Let's just zoom in on one of those repair systems, telomeres. You've probably heard of them. The best analogy is that they're like the little plastic tips on your shoelaces. They protect your DNA from fraying. Now, for us, every time our cells divide, those tips get shorter, and that's a key part of aging. Well, this jellyfish has totally mastered the art of making its telomeres long again, essentially putting brand new tips on its genetic shoelaces whenever it wants.
Okay, so we have cells that can change jobs, and a DNA repair kit that would make any mechanic jealous. But what kicks the whole thing off? Well, let's get to our final clue. It seems to all come down to a single, really powerful master switch.
And right here, this is the smoking gun. This chart tracks a gene called SIRT3, which is super interesting because in humans, it's linked to longevity. Now look at this. In the jellyfish's early and adult stages, the gene's barely active. But the second the jellyfish enters that rejuvenation chamber, its expression goes through the roof. This is the master switch being flipped.
So, there we have it. All the clues are on the table. Radical cell reprogramming, an ultimate DNA repair kit, and a master anti-aging switch. This isn't just one single trick. It's a perfectly coordinated 3-step genetic protocol for eternal life. So here it is, the secret to immortality, laid bare. First, it reprograms its cells, totally rewriting their fate. Second, it repairs its entire genetic code, fixing a lifetime of damage. And third, it rejuvenates by flipping that master switch to reset its biological clock all the way back to 0. This incredible genetic storm is what grants it biological immortality. Which leaves us with a truly mind-blowing thought. This animal proves that biological immortality is possible. It can be done. So the question is no longer if we can learn to reset our own aging process, but when, and what that's going to mean for all of us. If you found this as fascinating as I did, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers that break down the most incredible science on and off our planet. Thanks for watching.